Good morning, everyone. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Monday. Hope everyone had a good weekend. Boy, it went quick. I blinked and that weekend was done. Hey, Raj. Jerry, Cisco, Trademaker. How's everybody doing? Hey, Rufus, Juan. Hey, Mr. Mother Truck, what's going on? Hey, Travis, what's up? Good to see you all. Welcome to the tradingsyndicate.org. I'm JJ, and this is our session for August 25th as we come into the home stretch of summer, into month end, into the long weekend next week, Labor Day. Month end is on Thursday. The last trading day of the month is on Friday. And we're back at all-time highs. So let's get right to it. We always start, look at the same thing. We do a top-down, big to small. So our overnight inventory is short. Reason being that at least 70% of the traded volume is underneath Friday's close. So we've got short inventory. We've already had a move up to correct it. And as expected, I told you guys in the room on Friday, I said, and I put out a weekend update video, and I said, look for that 71 area because that's where the shorts are trapped. They're trapped from 28.5 up to 71. Market profile shows it very clearly. Now, market profile has a lot of little intricate details, but you know, folks, there's maybe about 3 or 4 things that you can use in a practical manner out of market profile. One are single prints, which is a single row of letters between two distributions. It shows you that the shorts are trapped here. What does that mean? That means there are buy orders here. We call them bids because shorts are bid to cover. That's how you close a short transaction is you have to buy it back, right? So there are bids here and shorts are bid to cover. That's why there's support. Okay? Avalon, I see your question. We'll get right to it. So that is, how does that help you now? What's the practical use of that? Right? Once again, you know, I was talking to someone this morning and they were reading a book and it's great, but what is the practical use of the information where you folks can actually make a living? So how does this work? If you were short, if you were shorting when the market opened, right? And you were shorting and the short came down here, at this area, you can expect competitive buying. So that's where you would cover. If you're going long, well, this is an area that you would go long from and put your stop underneath it and sell into that rotational move up, right? Exactly, Jerry, right? So practical use, if you're short, this is where your cover. If you're looking for a long, that's where you take a long from. Simple, right? Simple, practical use of market profile. Okay? So that's what our intention is, to help you get information from the market, right? They call that market generated information, MGI. And that's, you can get that from a candle chart, you can get that from a TPO chart. It's not exclusive. So if you don't have a TPO chart, you can use a half-hour candle chart, and it'll pretty much show you the same thing. A TPO chart is just a fancy half-hour candle chart, right? Where you can compress it and you can actually see the value area. But if you split it like that, it's basically a half-hour candle, okay? So we are inside Friday's range. We are inside Friday's value area. So it's pretty much business as usual from Friday. No change. If we broke 71, there'd be some change. And we'd look, see down here from 71 all the way to 28, we don't know what's down here. So let's see if we can retrace that at all later in Globex or maybe during RTH, right? So how do you trade it now? We got to go find a cost basis, right? So what I did for my cost basis was I kept it simple, right? I saw selling here and here, and I saw the selling stopped here. So my balance zone is a little bit bigger than normal. It's 74 to 80, and it's a very choppy trading session, okay? So right now, if you were to be trading this, and say you had, let me open up my trading, right? If you were thinking, okay, you know what? Maybe I'm going to be looking to go short, because what we have a look above and fail. So if you were shorting 79 and a half, 79, you'd use maybe 80, 80 and a half as your stop. And then where would you look to cover? Do you notice that you see the levels here? It stops selling right at 78 and a quarter. What a coincidence, right? Right, so Avalon, you don't have to go all the way back to August 19th or 18th. You could, if you wished. But you can easily find a cost basis and work with it. Now, it doesn't have to be the same as mine, right? All that matters is that you manage it intelligently, right? So you're looking for look above and fails, look below and fails, right? And as usual, what do you want to do? You watch, right? We have a 5-step method every morning, right? We look to see where the inventory is on a larger scale, right? Then we mark out the stops using the TPO chart. Or if you have a half-hour candle chart, the top and bottom of those candles are where the stops are, right? So if I was short 79 and a half, 79, I'd put in a bid at 77, right? If you're wondering what a bid is, it's a buy order. So I'm short 79. I'll put in a buy order at 77 to see if I can get filled. Filled means executed, okay? And if I cannot get one measly contract at 77, then I know that supply has run out, right? So once again, practical, simple information that you can use when you're trading, so you actually have a snowball's chance in hell of making money, right? There's no use having all of these complicated trading schematics and execution plans if they're not practical. So you're short 79, your stop is here. Why is that? What's the business reason for that? Well, you're shorting here because you see a seller. If the seller goes away, there's no reason to be in a short. You put in a 77 bid, And if you can't get filled at 77, take the offer at 77 and a half and get paid. Learn how to take profits, right? Learn how to get used to price action and get comfortable taking small profits, right? Hey, London Futures, how are you? Good. Hope you had a good weekend. So once again, keep it practical, keep it simple, manage your risk, do proper business, right? That's all we got to do. Right. Now let's see if we can take out that 77 level. And if we do that, I'll be looking for 75. Sorry, right here. I'll be looking for 75 half. So if we got if you had a buy order and at 77, you should have at least gotten one contract on your fill. A little rotation here. Pretty slow, huh? Pretty slow. Right. I did not get your DM, London Futures Trader. Sorry. Rasto, thank you, because I have not set VWAP yet. Thank you for reminding me. So let me go and set VWAP. There it is. Anchor VWAP. I anchor it at 11 o'clock my time, which is 6 o'clock. I use 23-hour VWAP. It's the New York 6 p.m. open for Globex. So, yeah, this is showing 79.20 Rasto, so pretty close. Hey, Moran. How are you this morning? It's a bit of a slow one. And, why is it a slow morning? Well, listen, right? There's a potential change in macro, right? So the market reacted very quickly to that, right? And it's going to take some time for them to figure out what happens, right? So we have shorts that are trapped under 71, right? It's a bank holiday in the UK, So London is closed. I'm doing a session anyway because we have a lot of traders from around the world on our stream. So I just want you guys to have, might be a quick session today. We might just do half an hour or 45 minutes depending. If we get any decent price action, I won't torture you guys watching 3 tick 1 minute candles. That might be a little torturous. Hey, AZS, what's going on? How was your weekend? Good, it went quick. It's a good, beautiful weekend in Liverpool. And it still continues today because today's a holiday here, so. When am I coming to Stuttgart? One of these days. I have not spent any time in Germany. I went to Bremen a year and a half ago, or 2 years ago. My girlfriend took me to Bremen for a Christmas market. That was quite something. I've never seen so much sugar in my life. Couldn't believe that everyone wasn't 300 pounds. I have never seen so much sugar. Oh my gosh. You guys have so much chocolate. Hey, Dr. Manana, what's going on? You work in a chocolate factory? Oh my goodness. I'd love to go to the Porsche factory. That'd be cool. But don't get me started talking about cars. I'll completely forget about the market. Well, we're slowly leaking lower here. And it's a very slow night in the market, almost untradeable at certain times. You know, when the market does these little tight ranges like this, it's very hard to trade that. And this is when traders get into a lot of trouble trying to trade this. The only way to really do it is to build positions. And since we're in the middle of my balance zone, really not the best position. And quite frankly, I think maybe my balance zone is a little too big. Looking at it, it's 6 points. Maybe I should have it from 77 to 80. I'd probably redo it. But we're waiting. There is no London Open, so in 10 minutes, it might be really ridiculously slow. Does anybody have any questions? What I'll do is I'll do the stream because it's going to be like this. And if you guys don't have a lot of questions, um, there's no sense torturing you guys. I'll do about another 10 minutes, see if we get any kind of order flow. And if we don't, we'll shut it down and save our bullets for RTH. That way you can go and enjoy your day. I'm a big believer in not sitting in front of the screen when it's ridiculously slow um, because it makes people overtrade. This way you can just aside from small candles, slow moving, that's all you really need, VS, right? So when you see these little areas of congestion, right, then you also have to remember, right? I want to take you guys down a little. Let's do the common sense practical thing, VS, right? So if you looked at the market, right? Now, if you're a TPO trader and you see something like this, right? This is not really normal, is it? Right? For a TPO trader, this is like we were walking down the street and instead of somebody walking a golden retriever on a leash, they're walking a velociraptor or some kind of a dinosaur, right? It's very unusual. Do you not agree that that does not look like normal, right? Now, it's a little harder to see it on a daily chart, but you see that big, huge move, right? So what does that imply? Right? That implies change, right? Big change. Big candle, big change. You with me? Right? So the business has changed. And now what time is it? It's 3 in the morning in New York, right? The groupings of these candles are really, really tight, right? We're going into the end of the month, into the last weekend of the summer, right? So maybe the market needs to adapt to this change, right? And the larger traders are all asleep at this time of night. So wholesale it's doing is doing their business, right? They're buying and selling and buying and selling, and because they can build positions and sell into strength, right? So for a scalper, it's not the greatest market for us. You know what I mean? Right? So when you see things that aren't normal, you understand there's change, right? So when you see that, you kind of go, okay, right? Can you go through the business reason for the opening drop? Do you mean trade maker? So we opened here and dropped, right? Okay. I was actually watching the open. Okay. So remember we had stops here, 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 and here, right? And we opened up here, that little orange R at 64.93. So I was watching the pre-open, right? What they did was they put some big bids in and they opened the market up at 93 and then they sold it down. That allowed them any inventory that they had down here, they were able to knock that out, right? And because we opened it above these stops, it created the buying that they could sell not a huge amount, but a little bit of inventory down, right? And then the sell-off, I told you guys to look for the market to backfill because we went up at the end of the day, right? This is the last half hour bar of the day. So that's where anybody who was shorting this thing, at the end of the day, they're trapped under here. And that's where you see the poor low of the overnight, right? And that's where the responsive buying is that comes in, right? That's what I forgot too. The overnight has a poor low. So there's competitive buying down there at that 71, right? Now let's see if we can creep all the way back to 74, right? So the overnight sessions, right? People will talk about London and Japan and all that stuff, but that's all. It's not really what it seems, okay? The overnight sessions are for large traders to take care of unfinished business. Now, what do I mean by unfinished business? If you're short a ton going into the close, the overnight allows you, hopefully, to go and do some covering. If you're long going into the close and you're a large trader, not retail, it allows you to sell some of your product at higher prices. Do you understand? And if you're lucky, you can do both. The overnight sessions are really for size traders to try and buy back some product if they're short or get rid of product if they're too long, right? Like say you're long a bunch of inventory, the market sells off at the end of the day, then you'll see the overnight go up, and then they can dispose of their inventory at higher prices and get some cash. Those are the business reasons for the movement, right? If you get caught short and the market opens and sells off, it allows traders to step in and do some covering, right? So they can buy back some of that short position so they don't get blown out the next day. Does that make sense? There's not as much competition at night, right? The markets, the RTH, the New York Stock Exchange, all that stuff is closed. So, sometimes you have a better chance at buying back inventory or getting rid of inventory, and you don't have as many people competing with you, right, and screwing up your agenda. Yeah, John, it might be a bit of a slow night for you, right? When I saw that move, like Friday when I saw that move up, right, as soon as he started talking about blah, 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 and B period started to shoot up, I just walked away from the screen. I was on with you guys, and as soon as we were done, I walked away, right? Let these guys figure it out, right? I'll trade next week, right? Because I don't need to get involved in price discovery, right? Once the market starts doing a nice rotation, then I can come in and trade, right? But if it just keeps trending in one direction or another, I have no interest, especially if it breaks all-time highs, right? I like trading rotations. Now let's see if 74 holds. Because I'm still, oh, went right through it. One tick. Now let's see if those bids are still here, right? We're going to change half-hour bar in 50 seconds here. I want to see it trade under 71, right? I want to see that overnight low get tested down at 71 half. And if it doesn't, then it'll kind of go sideways for a little bit and then rotate up. Here we go. Woohoo! Looks like we got a seller, and they're competing. That's good liquidation. Yeah, we need liquidation. Let's see if they sell into it at 74.75. Yep, there's a sell order right there. It'd be wonderful to get underneath 71 and see what's lurking down there for bids. This would allow some of the shorts who got caught on Friday to do some covering. I wouldn't be going long against this until we break over 74, 74 and a half. And I don't like to short right at the bottom of a profile. So this is a point where, for me, I just like to watch and see what the reaction is. There's 74. There's a seller at 74. Pretty much Moran, right? It's kind of stuck. Someone poke at it with a stick. Did I lose internet? What's going on? Are your charts moving? Anyone? Why are my charts not moving? My internet's running. Ah, there we go. My data timed out. Hmm. What the hell? Okay, now it's moving again. There we go. Thanks, George. Hmm. I don't like that. Yeah, I thought that was weird that it just got stuck. Didn't really miss much. Seller at 75 quarter, 75 half. It stopped again. Oh, it's a slow tape, but gosh, that's pretty much it. Let's see, folks, if we can get back under 74. Give it a few more minutes. There we go. Couldn't take out that low, folks. Couldn't take it out. So if you are working a little long or trying to go long, right now that it's reclaimed 74, if it stays over 74, 75, well, you know there's going to be sellers on the way up. And VWAP is there. So, if you are taking trades, make sure that you sell into strength, right? Time for coffee. No donut rush, but definitely time for coffee. I'm glad the weekend recap was helpful, Cisco. It might chop around here for a little bit, folks. Be aware of that. Don't get too attached. As long as this poor low holds, you'll get rotation up. If this level breaks, don't try and catch a falling knife, right? You have bids right here for now at the bottom of these candles. See you, Cisco. Get some sleep. See you in RTH. And what I'll do is I'll shut this down for you guys now. Don't want to torture you too much with this slow price action. Suffice to say, if we stay above 71, that's what you're looking for longs. Underneath 71, just remember if you are shorting and it breaks 71, put your buy orders in just in case, right? And we'll wait for some more people to wake up and come in and start putting some orders in. I'll let you folks go a little early tonight. This morning. Thanks so much. I gotta go get some exercise. And we will see you at 9 a.m. Eastern Time for the next session. Don't want to torture you through this back and forth chop. We'll see you in a little while. Thank you for being with me. Appreciate it. And trade safe. Thanks, everyone. Bye for now.